Hi everyone, Jan Fursdon here from Fursdon House. This is video day. This is my third recording, so hopefully I can get through this without mumbling too much. This is a journal. It's a boho journal, and I've only done one before, but nothing this elaborate. And as you can see, she's huge. I thought about naming her the Bohemian Rabbit, simply because I'm convinced that every time I came into the studio to work on her, the pages just seemed to have multiplied and multiplied, and it was getting fatter and fatter, and I wasn't even through. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put it all in there, and then whoever purchases it, they'll just have lots of extra to use in other journals. So as you can see, yes, she is a chunky, chunky, chunky baby. But I had so much fun working with her, and I'm not sure what to call her now. This lady on the front, she was actually a card. Well, I created a card, and it was on the inside, and I'd put it on the back cover, and she looked so good against the red, I thought, perfect. The cover is frequently the last thing I work on, and so I thought she needs to go on the front cover. So then I had to come up with something else for the back on the inside. But for some reason, she looks Russian to me. I don't know why, but she just looked really neat. So I thought maybe I need to name it the Bohemian Russian Lady or something. I don't know. But there she is. And I've put this little tiny, it's part of an earring. And it matched so well. And that was a little devil to get it attached. But I did as a little glass seed bead. I used to work with those little beads when I did embroidery. And gosh, they're tiny. You have to have a very tiny needle, and I could barely get it threaded, but I thought it looked perfect with that, so I had fun with this. And again, I've purchased some of these online. I forget now even where. I had forgotten about them because they took so long to get to me, and I thought, oh, that'll be neat. So I tried those out for the first time. Little corner protectors, and they just slip on, and then you press them in. And then these are two of the, and these are not removable, two tassels, which I thought were perfect with their colors and everything. And then the fabric itself is a decorative fabric that I purchased years ago. I mean, like at least 15 years ago, up in Seattle when I was visiting one of my daughters there at the time. And they were practically giving it away, and I bought a huge amount for my tea cozies and what have you, and I've used it also in curtain valances and what have you, and it's just beautiful. It's like embroidery, machine embroidery. And I thought, ooh, perfect. So that's what she's going to be. And then the closure is using the little, I don't know what you call them. What do they call them? Posts. A post closure. Where you can see on the inside, it screws on the back. And that's a Tim Holtz thing, and I've never used those, I don't think, or if I have, I haven't used this type of closure because of the ribbon and everything. I got this idea from Carol Tinson. I highly recommend you subscribe to her channel if you haven't already. Carol Tinson. She taught me in one of her videos how to use the ribbon. So you just literally press it, and then if you take it out, you can readjust this, make this smaller, so that no matter how big or small the journal is, it'll hold it. So that's really neat. The measurements are, let's see, about 5.5 by 8, and let's see how big, about 2¼ inch spine, and well, a much larger other end. So let's go ahead and get started. But again, this is for sale in my Etsy shop, and I'll put the link below there. I had a lot of fun. It took me about a week to do this on and off. And it was just so much fun to work with all these colors, because I decided, you know what, anything goes. I do have 4 of the little, I think you can see that, make sure I'm in focus. And these little beads, this used to be an earring. And then these others, I've purchased those a couple of months ago. It's kind of like a little grab bag thing, and I just went gaga over them at a very good price. But it also gave me the inspiration to create some of my own here. Let me straighten him out there. But yeah, that was an earring. So let's open it up. Make sure I'm in focus. Da-da-da-da-da. These are fabrics that I've had, that I've collected, and some of them I purchased bits and pieces, but it was just fun to just kind of like go crazy. So on the inside pocket here is a letter that I like to send to, this one is blank, it's just a reminder at this point, but it'll be a letter from me to whoever purchases it. And these are really neat. This is not a wax seal, because wax over time will crack and crumble. This is made with glue, a glue gun, and a glue stick. That it's literally, you just, you know, put a blob of hot glue and then you put your wax seal, or not your wax seal, but your seal into it. And what I do, if you can see in there, there's a little bit of blue color in there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but instead of gluing this on, you might want to use it for something else. So I just put a little, it's museum sticky tack, so that it comes off, goes back on. But again, that will be a letter to whoever purchases it. Here we have, aren't these wild? I love these colors. And these are blank postcards. I purchased these, oh gosh, several years ago. I was toying with the idea of doing watercolor, which didn't really pan out. But they're blank postcards, so you have this on one side and then it's completely blank on the other side. And I was going to do watercolor. Well, like I said, that didn't pan out. So what I've done now is sometimes I'll put pages of artwork, and this one has fabric. So, and I think instead of trying to put all this back in, I'm just going to leave it undone. Isn't that sweet? Reminds me of the I Dream of Jeannie bottle. So sweet. Here we have another tag. This is from fabric that I'd purchased, oh goodness, years and years and years ago. I still have some bits and pieces left, and I've taken and glued on some fabric leaves. And it's just a nice little journaling space, a little button there, some sari silk, and there we have a bit of bling. Here we have a little badge of fabrics, and then here we have just pages. Isn't this beautiful? This came from my friend Annette. I purchase a lot of my coffee and tea stained pages from Annette. She does a fabulous job, much better than I do. And she included a couple of extra pages in my last order, which I thought was very sweet. And her paper is yummy because it smells like coffee and vanilla, and I'm not sure how she does it, but just gorgeous and so yummy. You open up the package and it's like, vanilla and coffee. What's not to like? So just more pages there. And on the reverse, again, I've just done a little, this is part of an old necklace, and that's a button, believe it or not. And it's just, I wanted to do something that preserved the paper so that you could see it. I think this is called echo dyeing, I'm not sure, but just gorgeous. Love it. And here we have tags. This was a digital kit that I used, and do I have that digital kit name with me? No, but I will put it in my description below so that you know exactly where I got it from. There are two different kits that I used, and this one I'm just drawing a total blank on right now. So, but there's another one, and it was Bohemian tags. Hate to see it. Y'all can see my thumb where I half killed it the other day. I was cutting something in my geniusness and cut the wrong way, and it stabbed right into my nail. And anyway, it's healing, but it looks horrible, so I apologize for that. This is just a little pocket that I made with some scraps and buttons and some playing cards that, you know me, I love to have spaces to write, so I've just basically turned it into a little booklet there. And then this one's just plain. Those are from my friend Renelle. And let's see. And I think Renelle has a shop, so I'll put her, if she does, I'll put that link below. This is from a piece of fabric that my mother-in-law gifted me with. This is back from the 1980s when they wore these wild, highly decorated outfits and things, evening wear. And she had these pieces, and she gave them to me because she figured I might be able to use them, and yes, I do. Ribbon here, and this is from a ledger, this page here, 1912, 1910, somewhere in there. And I've just slipped in this is a greeting card that I've just cut up. Beautiful colors. But I've tried to keep as much of the writing available that you can actually read. I created a little pocket here. 2 more of the cards from Renelle. Aren't those pretty? I thought they went along with all the bright, fun colors. Again, just little bits and pieces there. And I've just tagged on some buttons here. This is 3 signatures. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. This is the Tim Holtz digital cuts. I love these because they're nice and flat. They don't take up a lot of room. They're very intricate. The fun part is gluing them down. But doing them in just all one color, it's like a silhouette, and I just love it. This is just what I call a fabric fall. I don't know what else anyone else calls it, but that's what I call it. Little fleur-de-lis at the top. This fabric, it's has a funny story. I went bin diving, literally bin diving. It was a shop next to my mother-in-law's shop that had these fabric decorator samples in these large books, and they were just throwing them out. And I was taking out some trash, and fortunately it's all paper in the dumpster, or I wouldn't have gone in if it were, icky. But I saw these books in there, and fortunately they were like mostly on top. And I thought, oh my gosh, and this was years ago. This was when I was doing miniatures, because I have a huge dollhouse. And I've used this fabric, bits and pieces of it, for years now. It's at least 15 years ago, at least. Maybe even longer, but about 15. And here I am still using some of the fabric. But it was just books of samples. This is from an outfit that I bought at the thrift shop that was damaged, and I just cut it up further. This is, let's see here. Some of these bits of fabric here, they're hard if you're using your paper clip, so you want to be careful because it'll snag on there if you're not careful. Just a nice big writing space. This is lace, and then this is the same lace. I've just cut it out from here, and I just love it. So pretty. This is from Tim Holtz collection of, I think they call them instant relatives. And this is a piece that, oh goodness, I think this was gifted to me years and years and years ago. And I use it very sparingly, but it was perfect for this, so okay, got to use it. It's just really neat. Lovely colors. This is, whoops, doesn't want to come out. Come on, yep, you're going to come out. I obviously stuck this in there. Okay, so we'll have to fix that. It's not going to come out. But it's a tag, and I'll put in a fresh one there. But I have that tendency of thinking everything is nice and dry, and it isn't. And there we have the back side of that ledger from 1910. Some ribbon here to create the pocket. This is just a card. I purchased these from a thrift shop in Germany. Here we have another large tag. I did a lot of large tags on this one because I wanted lots of space to be able to write in. And there's another one of those little beads, dangly things. Large. I love these large paper clips. They're just really neat. I love the color too. And this is just another tag. This is one that it's a little booklet. So you have this on one side and then this on the other. Just fun, wild bits of fabric. You open it up and you can write on each side here, but then also writing space. A lot of these darker blue fabrics like this came from some fabric that my daughter purchased when she was in Afghanistan. She works for the Corps of Engineers, and she purchased this beautiful bit of fabric and for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And it's just covered in all kinds of beautiful designs. Here's that back side of that eco dyed paper, and I've just added more pages. I just put it, again, I wanted to be able to show the actual, looks like leaves that she's imprinted on here. It's just so pretty. A little key there. One of the Tim Holtz Botanical butterflies. And I'll give you a hint on all of these. If you look, if you've ever tried to, you fussy cut some of these, and some of them are already cut out, but I've learned that some of the hardest things to look natural are the little antenna. And on these that are pre-cut, the antenna just, I don't know, there's too much white space around it, they just don't look good. So I always cut mine off, and then I take an ink marker, a very fine point ink marker, and just draw in the antenna. And then if you're cutting them, all out yourself, you're going to find that that antenna, trying to cut out that little tiny thing and have it survive, is almost impossible. So I got past that. I just don't even try anymore. I just cut it off and then draw in my own. Ta-da! So there's your hint for today. A little bit of fabric lace there, another of the Tim Holtz die cut flowers. This is some more of that fabric that I got from my daughter. And again, you have to be careful with all these bits and fabrics, that they will get hung up in your paper clips if you're not careful. So that's the end of the first signature. Come on, get in there. Just want you to hold in place for now. And the second signature is sort of like a little folio. On either side of the folio, I've put in 2 bookmarks, 2 silk. They're sorry, silk? No, I'm sorry, seam binding. Silky seam binding, so that you have 2 bookmarks that you can use. And then I put in this, so again, I've done some decorative stitching around the edges. You can see here. And then I've just done a collage of the different fabrics and bits and pieces. These are fun to make because you just get to go kind of wild. Sort of like crazy quilting, but a lot faster because you're gluing it down. And then on the inside are 2 pockets. Here we have, this is, these pages are both from a digital kit, and I'll put the links to that below. And I've just added some ribbon. And then I cut this little chevron shape out. It was going to be something else, and I thought, nope, it reminds me of a sandal, actually. What can I say? Just the 2 little pockets. And then, let's see, we've got this one. This is from a Postcard. Nice writing space. And I've left, you'll see there's a pocket here, a large pocket there, and a large pocket there, and I've left those empty to give you space to put in your own things. And again, more decorative stitching, and then just, that was a lot of fun. Here we have Postcard using some wild fabrics. This is another tag. This is using the fabric that goes on the cover of the book. And again, that was just cut out from an outfit that I got at the thrift shop that was literally falling apart. So I just cut it up and was able to use that. So much fun. Fabric lace there. This is another piece of eco dyed paper. Just gorgeous. You can see the imprint of the leaves. Annette does such a great job with this. I have no patience for something like this, so I'm And she gifted that to me when I purchased my coffee dyed papers from her. And this is from the Tim Holtz Botanical. And again, see, I've cut off, and it looks real. I mean, it looks really good, I think. But when you have the antenna that's part of this actual cutout, it looks kind of fake because you've got the white surrounding it. So I just cut it off, and then again, take a sharp pointed, or a fine pointed black marker, and I just draw them in. Same here. You can see. And what I basically look at is when I'm cutting it off, I save it and look at how they put it on, you know, how it was originally intended, and then I just kind of go from there. This is a greeting card with another of this is the little dangly bit that used to be an earring. And this is a greeting card that I've had for years and years. I bought a box of these, and this is the last one, but I just thought it was really neat. I love, obviously, paper crafts. And these are buttons that I think, these came from Walmart, if I'm not mistaken, years ago. But they may still sell them. I'm not really sure. But anyway, there's that. This is some decorator fabric that I'd purchased for tea cozies. No, I'm sorry, this is not. This is decorator fabric that my mother-in-law gave me. She gifted me with several large pieces. She had an antique shop for years and years, about 40 years. And she had a lot of fabric, large fabric samples that she gifted me with. And it was designed to give people ideas of what to recover furniture and stuff, their antique furniture that she sold. She had a beautiful shop, and she gifted me with all that, and I thought it was very sweet. This is a little mini journal, if you will. I made this about 20 years ago, and this was way before this type of journaling came about. But I had started to work with scrapbooking, and then that didn't pan out. But I had some scrapbook papers, and I just, like I said, this is about 20 years old. And it was just some of my favorite scrapbook paper at the time. And I think they're still selling this set, I think. But I enjoyed it, and I thought, but I was making small things because I was about to get started in making miniatures for a dollhouse. One of these days I need to do a video on my dollhouse. It's huge, and I had so much fun. I did that because I had empty nest syndrome. My youngest daughter had moved out, and I was going nuts, and I knew I needed to do something to keep busy, and that's what I did. This is a tag here. And this is just a little paper clip with a little bit of scrap that I had, and I thought, well, I can't waste it. So I just kind of keep him there to hold this tag in. This is another fall, fabric fall is what I call them. It came from a scarf, an old scarf. And this, again, this is the journal, or not journal, ledger. One of the Tim Holtz instant ancestors. This is some fabric. Oh goodness, I think that was an outfit that I cut up. It had holes all over. I purchased, when I'll go to a thrift shop, and if I find outfits that are damaged, and they practically give them away, and I like supporting them anyway, because a lot of them have the monies for those thrift shops go to churches and homeless centers and what have you. And so I'll buy pieces that are literally about to fall apart and use them like this. Just run them through the wash, and I think it's really neat. It's reusing things. This is something new that I started, was it earlier this year? My mother-in-law had gifted me with some fabric boots. Beautiful fabrics from Windsor Castle. And I literally traced around the fabric boot and came up with this pattern, and I thought it would be fun to include. This one had some wild colors in it, so I thought I'll use it for this. And I've stuck a paper clip in here. You can use it like that. I didn't want to put it in there permanently because I thought you might want to do something else with it, you know, place it somewhere, whatever. And then in here, this is and I've just dyed these two pieces, but this is from an old, it's maybe balsa wood. It's very, very, very thin, as you can see. I mean, you can literally cut this with a pair of scissors, but it was from a fan. You know, one of the kinds of fan you know, literally fan yourself with. And it was broken, but I couldn't see just throwing this away, so I've saved them. These also make good bookmarks. Just literally, you know, in any kind of book, and they're thin enough that they can go in just about anywhere. So I've just put them down here, inside here, but you can use that for something else if you would prefer to. I made several boots, I think about 8 of these different kinds, using up, this is a great way to use up scraps. So I had fun with that. And again, I've just stuck it on there, but you can do it differently. There's the tag that was on the reverse of it. And just put him in there. However I had it. Here's another one of the ones that flip over on the page. Some beautiful fabrics. This is for my friend. I think Annette did this. I thought it was so sweet. It's an old tag. And I love the color. It says, "Stay curious." You know, I think if we can learn something new every day, it's just, that's a good day. And there's beautiful fabrics. I mean, how luscious, how much fun. That goes in there, and then you open it up, and again, it's like the other one. Space to write here, space to write there, and then pages there. Put it in the center here. Da -da 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 -da. And I probably need to hurry up. It's the ledger paper. Fun fabric. This is a greeting card. There's another one of those little dangly things. I think my, let's see, who is it? The artist, G. Kerr. She calls them dangly bits. And I just think that's neat. This, as I said, this is a greeting card. I've just redone the back so that you've got space there to write. And on the reverse, this came, it's a stylized flower. This is beading. And it, again, it was a top that was at the thrift shop, and it was falling apart. And I thought, oh, you can't just throw these things away. So I cut it out and then basically just created a card. It's heavy. This is why my things end up so thick, because I end up saving bits and pieces like these. But talk about fun. I mean, it's just gorgeous. What can I say? And here's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous tag. Beautiful, beautiful fabrics. Let's see, we're almost to the end. Little tag there. Butterfly from the Tim Holtz Botanicals. And again, there's my little antennas. And this is that back side of that echo dyed paper. You can see the antennas drawn in. See? You all can do that. It's a straight line with a dot. All you have to do is kind of watch where the placement is. And you do that by just looking at what you cut off. Again, I've done that lace. This is cut from this piece here. This is just a collage pocket. Nice big pocket. Whoops, get it down there. I need to glue him down. I love that shape. And here's the reverse that did have the lady fitting in it, sitting in it. But then I thought, well, no, she looks better on the front. So it's the pocket. And these are what I call writing boards, because these are so, they have so many chunky things in them. This is a perfect example. If you want to write on the back side of this, it's kind of difficult. So what I do is I will take this out if I'm writing, put this behind it, and then you've got a hard surface to write on. So that's what I do, and I'm starting to include these in, especially in my chunky journals. It's just something really neat, and I've put on both sides of it. And that is the end. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, I had a great time doing this, and there's enough stuff in here that you could probably decorate another journal with half the stuff that's in here, and you'd still have plenty left. But talk about fun. If you have any questions, please let me know. And where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? That goes there. Oh, there it is. I knew there was another one. That's the other little. So he goes in here somewhere. I'll put it all back together later. But again, this is for sale in my Etsy shop. I've got stuff hanging all out. It was just a lot of fun to do. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope you're all having a lovely day. It's Wednesday, the 8th of July in Madison, Alabama. There we go. That's the reverse. So all of you take care, and may God bless. Bye-bye.